Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia in Greystanes, which is a suburb of Sydney. You need to see this. This is, let's call it part 3 of the embossing pen, the gel pen embossing hack. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, I think you can. Okay, I'll just get started. I'm actually going to make it a little bit different, but the stamp set that I used is this beautiful, uniquely artistic stamp set. And at the moment, it is only $12.80 here in Australia. So that's a huge saving. That's like 60% off. And it's a beautiful stamp set. Just show you again. But we're only using one to get that effect on that card. So we'll get started. You can go to my store and have a look at the sale. You just need to find the banner that says up to 60% off, and this is one of them. So I've started with a normal card base, which is an A4, cut in half at 14.85. It's scored at 10.5, and we just fold it like this. Okay, so that's the card base. I now, instead of just stamping it straight onto the card, I'm going to put it on a panel. I just think it looks much nicer. So the basic white panel is going to be 14.4 centimetres by 10.1. And I know that sounds a bit weird, but it just worked out that way. It just worked out a very nice little border all the way around. Then we have some Starry Sky. It's just a panel of Starry Sky, and it is 14.4 centimetres by 7 centimetres. And then we need another piece of basic white, and it is 14.4 centimetres and 6.5 centimetres. So we also need the Tahitian Tide, which is one of the in colours for one of the older in colours. Okay, I don't know. And Starry Sky, they're both in colours. They were both in the same in colour group. So I'm just going to use those today. So we'll pop all of this stuff out of the way and I'll show you how I did it. Now we're going to do some stamping off, and we're going to do some heat embossing. So I'm going to start with the Tahitian Tide, and the largest of the stamps here, not the one with the leaves actually drawn in, just this one here, and I'll show you just one stamp pad, one stamp and the Tahitian Tide. So I'm going to just ink that up, and I'm going to stamp this across here, and I'm going to go off the edge in some places, and I'm going to turn it around in other places. So we're just going to, and overlap. It doesn't matter if you overlap it. In fact, it makes it not so like it's all the one stamp. So there you go. And then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. So now I think if you've watched my videos before, you know that I can't, I can't talk and do something else at the same time. But there we go. So that's all we're doing with the Tahitian Tide. Now with the Starry Sky, we're going to fill this in towards the middle, and it's quite a strong colour. So I just want to go down the middle. Again, I'm going to go off the page and turn it around. And this is with full strength ink. And then I'm going to stamp it off and just go over where the two colours meet. I'm going to overlap where the two colours meet, stamping it off. So I want a lighter tone there. And I'm going to turn that around and do the same thing again. So we've got 3 different shades going here now. And we'll just put one little bit there. Okay, now this is basically just an expansion on my first video on using a gel pen to emboss with. Excuse me. So I just want to make sure this is dry. So I'm just going to use the heat gun. I'm just going to use it onto one and just dry that. Oh, that's 2. I just want to gently dry that. Now this stamp set is very versatile. We're only using one stamp out of here, and it's a completely different look to what you would think you would use that for. And it's $12. What did I say? $12. $12.80. That is fantastic. But of course, that is while stocks last. So yeah, get in quick. I'm using our little embossing buddy. It's filled with, I don't know what it is, but it's anti-static powder. And I usually just drop it a couple of times just to release some of the powder. And I'm giving that a good rub all the way over. Now, here's my gel pen. This is just my gel pen that I write with. I wrote this with it. It's black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my embossing powder ready. And what I did was I kind of just did a few outlines around some of these edges and then embossed them. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So get your gel pen going. And I can hear you saying it's black. Yep, I know it's black. And it doesn't matter if you don't even stay in the lines. Like if you don't follow it. So because it's got some embossing, oh gosh, that just went everywhere. It's got the anti-static powder on it. It is going to dry a little bit quicker. So you don't have to do all of them, by the way, just some of them. And you can even do little bits in the middle, little spaces like that. See that? I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do some more on the other side. Don't worry about that. I know everybody's going, there's a great big thing of powder on there. Don't worry about it. I'm going to sort it out in a minute. And you can even go between the ones that are on the inside and the ones that are on the outside, wherever you want to do it. And it reminds me of some paper that we had a couple of years ago, and it was beautiful, and it was kind of all greens. But yeah, it reminds me of that one. And it had gold all the way through it, so it was gorgeous. anyway, this is my take on that. Now, I don't care if the powder kind of does get everywhere. Excuse me, sorry. Got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. Now, I'm going to heat that because I can go back and do it again in a minute if I deem there's not enough. Now, I am going to heat this on speed 2, so just bear with me. And you'll see how gorgeous this comes out. So the embossing powder, the silver embossing powder is sticking to the gel ink. And there's a couple of spots that I missed, so I'm going to just go over those. So I drew on them, but I didn't get powder on them all the way. Now it's a bit warm here at the moment, so it could well be that the gel ink is drying a bit fast, or it could be the embossing powder, the embossing buddy, I mean. So yeah, it looks like it needs something else in the middle here. So I just put a couple of bits there. Maybe another bit there. And I'm going to call that done. So I'll just tip this back in here, heat that again, and we'll see how it turned out. Now the beauty of having use a gel pen is that they're quite fine. The embossing, the gold silver embossing ends up quite fine, and you've got more control to where you're putting it. So yeah. Now this is very quick card, very, very quick. So I have this panel now. I have the other stamp that I'm using is Thanks, and it's from the other one, the Artistic Expressions, I think it's called. No, Artistically Inked. I'm using Thanks. It's rather a large stamp and it's really lovely. And given that this one doesn't have any sentiments in it, you can pair it with any other stamp set. So I'm going to attach this to this. You'll see there's a thin border there. I'll use some glue. Oops, that's all coming up. And yes, I've got embossing powder everywhere. Look, it's on the back even. So very thin border, but they meet up at the end, like they meet up at the end is what I'm trying to say. So they're the same length, and you just end up with this beautiful panel. Like, and you can see where the gel ink has skipped on some of it, and it's just created little dots. That looks like the ocean to me, and that started out as a leaf. So I'm going to measure up where I'm going to put this, and I'm going to ink up my Thanks with the Starry Sky. And if I can get it open, And I'm just going to stamp thanks. Now, pardon me if I get my head in the way here. I want a nice little white border down the bottom. I'm just going to pop my thanks there. I hope it's straight. Just holding that down for a second. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this does not need any embellishments because we've got that gorgeous silver embossing on there. But I'm going to glue that on there now and then attach that to the card. Very quick, very easy card. And I'm going to put the panel on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, if I can find them. This is the story of my life. Where are they? Just bear with me for a second. Okay, I've only got small ones. Oh dear, this could take a while. So I'm going to put some on the back. I have ordered some, but I ordered some of the strips and the sheets, so we'll see how that goes when they arrive. And I'm just waiting on my order, my pre-order. Oh, this is incredibly sticky. I'm just waiting on my pre-order. I think it's due tomorrow or the next day, but when I get it, I'll do a preview of it. It's all the new products from the new catalogue that's coming out. It'll be out on the 2nd of May, and yeah, there's some really lovely things in there. So yeah, okay, I'm wasting a lot of these, but only because I didn't have any of the bigger ones. There, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get them off. Ah, I forgot about that. And I don't know where my take your pick tool is. Oh, I did have a class yesterday, so it's probably all in my bag. And I just thought of this, and I actually made them similar to my thank you cards for this month. I used a similar technique, is what I'm trying to say. Oh dear, it's Sunday and it's been a very long week for me. I also want to say thank you if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm really grateful that a lot of people have decided to subscribe. I try really hard to upload two videos a week. Sometimes I may not make it. I've got acrylic nails, and so they are jewels, not tools, and this is why you need the take your pick tool. Oh dear, they're useless, honestly. Yeah, compounded by the fact that I use little ones. Oh my goodness. All right, last two. Oh, there we go. They came off really reasonably easy. Yeah, so I'm just going to center this up on the card. I mean, you could add a piece of ribbon or whatever, but this, for me, this is just a very simple card. This is the trickiest part also for me, is to get this lined up nicely. And there we go. It's got a bit of, the original didn't have any dimensionals behind it, and it wasn't stamped on a separate panel. The reason I did that was because when I stamped it directly onto the card, it kind of smudged a bit, and I thought, oh, wouldn't you know that? Wouldn't that rot your socks? But anyway, I thought, well, if I mess it up, I can turn this piece over and nobody will know. But there they are, the two of them together. Do let me know what you think in the comments. I think that's beautiful, and it was very simple and very quick. And I know I say that all the time, but it was. I had everything cut out. It was just the fiddly bits. But yeah, I hope you can see that embossing on that. I'm just going to stand up so that I can see if you can or not. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. So have a go at that. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, if you need to purchase anything and you are in Australia, I can't sell to overseas, I'm so sorry. But if you are in Australia, you can shop with me here. Please contact me. There's my email address if I can help you with anything else. And this is the April host code that ends on the 1st of March at the same time as the 2 catalogues and the up to 60% off last chance product sale. Whew, I think I got everything done. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. See you on the next video.